Music teachers, in this video, I'm going to show you how to charge $1,000 to $4,000 per music student instead of $80 to $100 per hour. So first, let's talk about why most teachers tend to charge $80 to $100 per hour. So there's a few reasons. The first one is that many music teachers look around and see other music teachers charging around this amount, and then they get the sense that, okay, well, this is just what the market this is what the market will buy. This is what the market rate for these lessons are. And it becomes really difficult to kind of feel like you have permission to sort of break that. It almost feels too audacious, too bold to do that. The other thing, too, is that many music teachers feel threatened by the free information on YouTube. And they think to themselves, like, well, if people can get similar information online for free, then who am I to charge a higher price anyway? The other thing too, and this is a really big one, especially with really skilled musicians, is that a lot of teachers tend to devalue what they've learned. So, for example, if you're really good, even though you're really good, we tend to think, oh, well, anybody can do that. Or we tend to dismiss our success and saying like, oh yeah, all it took was just a bit of practice. Oh, I guess it's not that hard. When in reality, a lot of people learning find it very difficult. They find it very confusing. And so, in other words, we tend to devalue what we know, and we tend to self-deprecate to the point where we don't even see the value in what we're offering. Okay. So, and then the final reason that I want to give that a lot of music teachers charge only $80 to $100 per hour is that a lot of teachers charge and sell their time. And the thing is, your students don't want your time. What they actually want, what they value more, is a result. Instead of buying an hour of your time, they would much rather buy the result of being able to play guitar like Jimi Hendrix, or they want to be able to do, really crazy prog metal drumming. Like, that's what they care about more than just buying your time per se. And so I think that with teachers charging for their time, the value is just inherently lower than teachers charging for results. So with that being said, how do we actually make that leap and go from $80 to $100 per hour to charging $1,000 to $4,000 per music student? Well, one way to do that is, instead of charging for or pricing per hour, instead, if you make an entire coaching program that takes students from point A to point Z. Let's say, for example, if they were learning to sing and they wanted to learn to sing like Green Day and they had no clean singing experience. So if you designed a program that says, hey, by the end of this program, the goal is that we want to get you to sing like Green Day, even if you haven't had singing experience before. So first off, the result is inherently much more valuable. And then within that coaching program, then you offer different types of support. You offer live coaching multiple times. You offer, and then, on this live coaching, they can get all their questions answered. They can talk to you. They can sort of get feedback. And then when you guys are not on live coaching, then maybe you can also give them chat support throughout the week. So they'll be able to get some sort of feedback and just confirm whether or not they're still on the right track. And then on top of that, you can add a community feature. So let's say that all your students get the opportunity to chat with each other on a forum and share tips and celebrate each other's successes and sort of support each other. And that way it sort of keeps them motivated, accountable, happy. And it sort of helps them normalize the idea that other people are on this journey with them. So it makes it easier for them because they feel less alone. And what if on top of that, you also offer them video resources as a supplement, and you make like a video course that goes through it so that they get some form of help from you that doesn't require you actually putting in your time, your effort to support them. And so if you stack all of these things together, and you design a program, a curriculum about getting them the end result that they want, then your whole world as a music teacher changes. First off, the most important thing is that you can get far better results for them, because The problem with just hour to hour models is a couple of things. So the first thing is that like the hour paying by hour model, it almost incentivizes a lot of teachers to not be a good teacher and to not get their students results. Because if you think about it, the teacher is financially incentivized to make more money by having the student book more lessons. And if they don't, and if the teacher, quote unquote, does too good of a job coaching them, then that means that the student will require less lessons. And then the teacher is like weirdly incentivized to, make more money by, having the student buy more lessons. So for starters, that hourly model, there's weirdly a conflict of interest. So by you designing a course curriculum around it, it's more focused on the results, then you do a much better job of getting results for them. You give them a better experience because not only are they getting the live support from you, they're getting the messenger support, they're getting the community support, they're also getting the video resources. So it's different ways of learning because everybody has different learning styles. And this way, it's just much more valuable and I guess holistic for them. And then on top of that, then you're going to get obviously more income because, if you are charging per hour $80 to $100, it's going to take a lot more students and more hours for you to make as much as like charging $1 to $4K per student. And so when you have more income, then you can reinvest in the program and make the program even better. You can maybe even do more research. You can even, I guess, do some more in-depth studies. You can do some crazy experiments that you couldn't had you not had the budget. So you can reinvest that into becoming a good teacher and of course, living a better quality of life. And the other thing too is that you'll get more time because when you start charging $1,000 to $4,000 per student, as opposed to like 80 to 100 per hour, then you don't need as many students in order to, make a great living and to do a good job of what you do. So you'll get more time. And once you have more time, for a couple things will happen. First is that it'll be way less likely that you'll resent what you're doing because I see that far too often where if a teacher is too booked, then they feel almost imprisoned by the work they're doing. They're like, oh man, I'm just working all the time and I just don't have any time for myself. So you can take that extra time and, just feel good about it and not build resentment. You can take that extra time and work on your personal music and kind of like put it towards your personal musical creative endeavors. And so there's lots of benefits to doing this. So with that being said, in order to go to the next step of of setting this up, you'll need to learn how to set up, how to acquire clients. You'll need to know how to sell them, how to run programs like this, how to set up programs like this. You'll need to know, eventually, if you want to scale up, then you'll need to know what you can do to automate some of this just to make your life easier. And believe it or not, there's also a big mental component to all this too, because when it comes to musicians, for me, this is something that I had to deal with this for a long time, is that a lot of musicians tend to really have this, a lot of us tend to think that our skills aren't worth that much, that we really shouldn't charge good prices for what we're worth. And so there's a big emotional, mental component of sort of like building your self-worth to believe that you can charge something like this. So anyway, as you can tell, there's a lot that kind of goes into this. So if you want to go deeper and get more of your questions answered, here's what I'll do. I'll leave a link below this video. So if you click it, you'll get more of an in-depth free training to set up the structure of how to provide this for your students, as well as it'll give you the option to schedule a free chat with me to see whether or not it would make sense for me to coach you. Because the thing is, the absolute quickest way to do this is to have a mentor. And if you don't have a mentor, then it's very easy to get lost in the sauce of trying to set all this up. So if any of that interests you, and if you want to make a significantly better living as a music teacher, 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, then click the link below in the description and get some help. And I will see you inside. Peace.